guys, it's Christy. I'm back with another card making video. Today I wanted to have some time to color some of the images from the Playful Pups from Mama Elephant. I just showed you guys the stamp set in a recent haul video, and those are the matching dies. So as I like to do, those of you who know, are familiar with my channel know I like to stamp out a whole bunch of images and then just take my time coloring them in different ways and just experimenting with colors and all that. So I wanted to make this little guy look like a German Schnauzer. My middle son, Elliot, used to have a stuffed German Schnauzer named Otto that he loved, and so I wanted to replicate that. So I went ahead and Googled German Schnauzers, and this little cutie here is who I used for my inspiration. So I'm starting out with some Copic markers here. I've got the C family. These are the cool grays. I've got C0, C3, C5, and C7. A C1 would also be good, but I don't have one, so I managed without it, but I think that's going to be on my wish list. But I'm going to start with the C3, and I'm going to go ahead and zoom in for you. And I'm going to start by laying in some color on all the places that I want him to be gray. So his face, aside from his little muzzle there, and the side of this leg, and his back, and we're going to bring that color down a little bit on this side here. Remember, your first layer never has to be perfect, okay? You can scribble. It's just about getting the color on there, blocking it out for yourself, and getting the paper saturated. So now I'm going to start my shading, and I'm going to start going in with my C5 and just adding some shadows where I think they belong. Along the back side so that he'll appear rounded in shape. Okay. Bring that color out a little bit. Now I'm going to jump to my darkest color here. This is the C7. And I'm just going to do a little more shading, very sparingly around the edges here. Under that ear. This ear should have some shading too that I missed. Okay, along the very edge of this leg. Under his head there. Okay, and then I'm just going to work myself backwards and just go ahead and blend that color out a bit. Going back to the C3 now and just blending everything together. Now I'm going to go to my C0, which we've yet to use, and I'm going to use that to blend out the edges where I want his fur to remain white. Just so that we don't have any harsh lines there. And as that color bleeds together, it's also going to give him some texture, which is nice. Help him look more like fur. A little bit here on his face. And while that's drying, I'm going to go ahead and grab my C9, and we're just going to do his nose with that. Alright, and then if you remember from the photo, his muzzle really isn't white. It's kind of a creamy, beigey color. So I wanted to include that to make it look a little more realistic. So I'm going to go in with my E000 here. And I'm going to add just a little bit, especially around the edges. And then I'm going to go back with my C0, which was my lightest color. I'm going to feather some of that in. And then I'm even going to go with some C3 just on his muzzle and just really lightly add in a few little almost like whisker shapes. Okay. And then I'm going to go back in with my 0 marker, my colorless blender, and just kind of go over that to soften it up a bit. For his collar, I'm going to let that dry. What we'll do his tag while we're waiting. And I wanted kind of a golden color, so we're going to do Y26. Collar, we'll give him a red collar. I'm going to dab in some R59, just real light on the edges, and then I'm going to finish that with R27. Very light touch because it's very small. Okay, and there we have our little German Schnauzer. So our die cut pieces are all ready, and we can go ahead and set them aside till later. And we're going to work on our card base now. I have a piece of MFT snow cones folded to a standard 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 card. And then I have a piece of green Acres by W+9 that I have trimmed down so that I have a little bit of a border that's going to be on the inside of our card there. And then I also have a piece of the snow cone. This is cut down with the smaller of the Mama Elephant Fem Frames dies. And then I've got a piece of extra green from that piece that will be on the front of our card. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take the Mama Elephant Grassy Borders dies. There's 3 dies in this set. I'm going to take this one that's a little bit of a hilly shape, and I'm going to die cut both this part and this piece for the front of our card. So I'll go ahead and do that. Okay, so we've got those 2 pieces, and I did go ahead and die cut that grassy strip with the smaller of the Mama Elephant Fem Frames dies as well, just so that I could have that stitched edge around the bottom of the grass as well. Just grabbing some foam tape here. Alright, and then we can go ahead and try to arrange how we want our little scene to be. Okay, so the top here was looking a little bare, so I also die cut the Mama Elephant cloud die. This is from the Landscape Trio. And then again, I die cut that with the smaller of the Fem Frames so that it would line up with all those stitching marks. And then I've stamped my sentiment, which is I've got a spot in my heart for you. Super cute sentiment. I'm going to grab a little bit more foam tape here. And we'll just stick that on the back of our cloud border. I'm going to turn my panel around so that I can line that up very straight. Okay. And then we're going to add our little elements here. We're going to add our dog. And since his head is going to stick above the popped up piece, we'll just add a little extra foam tape to his head. And then some regular Tombow Mono multi to his body. We'll stick him right about there. We'll add some Tombow to the back of our little dog dish here. And we'll add a little dot to the back of our tennis ball as well. And I'm just going to tuck that back behind him. Okay, we're going to set that panel aside and work on the inside portion of our card. I'm going to go ahead and open up these pop-up dies here. And let's see. I think we're just going to use these smaller ones here. Okay, so I'm going to grab some Post-it tape. I'm going to mark the halfway point on these dies with the tape so that I know where it is since it's not on the back. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and tape that into place. Okay, and then I'm going to run these through my die cut machine. Okay, so our pop-up dies have die cut that portion, and you want to just take that and bend that in the opposite direction of the fold. Okay, takes a little bit of getting the hang of it. There we go. Just going to go ahead and press that so it's scored a little bit better there. And now we can go ahead and attach our little pieces. Hope you can see what I'm doing there. Okay, so I'm just gluing those on with a little bit of Tombow Mono, holding those while they dry. And for our little ball that was in the front seam, I'm just going to go ahead and glue that behind so we have some more dimension. And then we can grab our card base, and I have stamped a couple of sentiments inside. I've used this Small Talk stamp set from Mama Elephant. Super cute set with lots of different speech bubbles. And I've used the I Like You, XO, and Just Saying, because that goes with our sentiment from the front. So this is going to line up right here. So I'm going to go ahead and add some liquid adhesive, and I want to be careful not to get any where those folded pieces are there. I need to get it on this side as well. Okay, and then I'm just going to carefully line that up, and then when I'm happy with that, I'll just press the top down. Okay, and there you have that pop-up feature there. That your recipient will get when they open the card, which is really cute. I will say that one thing I would recommend is I put the glue on the back of the images. If I were to do this again, I would add it only to the back of the little pop-up piece because I got some sticky glue in places where it didn't need to be, and then my cards started to stick together. But I just actually ripped up some tiny pieces of Post-it tape and taped it right over the back of the image, and nobody will ever know. It just covered up that adhesive. So as a final step, we're going to go ahead and adhere this front panel, and we're going to do that with some more liquid adhesive because this card is actually quite thick now with all those layers of thick heavy-duty cardstock. So we're just going to take a little bit more of that and get that centered on the front of our card. And there we go. We've got that really cute little front panel, and it opens up to the little dog rolling on the ground because he's overcome by his love. So I hope you guys enjoyed that video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.